Oh my God, did you hear what I heard? I heard that Jennifer is a slut. She is totally a slut. Who told you that? Who told you that? How would that person know that Jennifer is a slut? What is a slut? How do they define slut? Why should you care if Jennifer is a slut? Why does the person who told you that Jennifer is a slut care that Jennifer is allegedly a slut? This is a conversation maybe one of you had in junior high school about some very, very slandered girl named Jennifer who, by the way, I have it on good authority, is not a slut. I say this rather silly thing to talk to you about something serious in research writing. Sluttiness is not part of this class. At least I hope it's not. But the question of who told you that is absolutely central to what we're doing. One of the things that I find that students struggle the most with is not to find a document to put in a paper that talks about a thing that is related to their subject. That is super easy to find these days on the internet. But you need to know who's talking to you and whether or not you can trust them when they tell you that Jennifer's a slut or that something else is true, whatever that is. Who wrote this? Were they fact-checked? I've got videos that follow this one that talk about sources that are fact-checked and different kinds of sources. You must know what kind of document you have in front of you. Not everything that appears on the internet is called a website in a research paper. The fact that it's on the internet doesn't make it a website. For instance, every morning I get up and I read a French newspaper called Libération. It's a newspaper, but I read it on the internet because it would be impractical for me to go to the newsstand downstairs and get a paper that's available in say, stores in Paris, but not so much here in Louisiana. You need to know why they know what they say they know. How can you know that they are telling you the truth? If they're a not-for-profit organization, that means they're not trying to sell you something. Sometimes, though, they are trying to sell you something. There is something called infotainment or advertorials, where in order to sell you pens, I explained to you something like how pens are really useful according to the experts. But the whole purpose of it being online is that I had people say that my pens were really good. And you need to know that those things exist. It may look like an article, but you need to know if it's an article that is fact-checked and not designed to sell you a thing. Furthermore, you need to know if it's a not-for-profit organization that's talking to you, who funds the not-for-profit. Now, there are many wonderful not-for-profit organizations that are not trying to spin you in some creepy way. But there are others that sound super innocuous that are not innocuous. Let me give you an example. I have received the occasional paper from students who have gotten their information from a website that sounds completely legit, called the National Policy Institute. Do you know who publishes the National Policy Institute? A group of white supremacists who fake everything that they say. You would want to know if that's who's talking to you. I'm not telling you that you would necessarily agree or disagree with them, but I am saying if you don't know, then they can fool you. Who says that Jennifer's a slut? Is that just the girl who's jealous of the boyfriend, ex-girlfriend of the boyfriend that she now has? Is it her really mean younger sister who's trying to compete with her older sister in a really sick and twisted way? Who says that a thing is true? The rules that applied in 7th grade and junior high about who to believe is a slut apply to literally everything you will research. You need to know who says the thing, who told you the thing, why they had an article up or a website up or a newspaper up discussing it in the first place, and you need to know who pays for it. We're going to talk about this in a future video that's a little longer than this one, but don't believe the hype. There's so much about not believing the hype in this class because I want you to be free to know the truth and decide who you want to be with that information. I don't want people manipulating you. I will be a happier old woman if you are not somebody else's zombie slave. So when you get older, be free, and I'm intending to be free today. So with that liberty, I'm just going to say Jennifer's not a slut. You shouldn't believe her. The girl who said that, she's tripping. Don't believe her. Anyway, see you later.